The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Aereo, the best place to grow and manage your real estate media business online at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. Coming to you from the makeshift Upmarket studio in the beautiful Ojai Valley of Southern California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. And oh man, I wish Mark Corcoran could be here, but he's out shooting. And so why would he bother to do a podcast? I'm the one who has to come and not get to come and do podcasts. And then producer Chelsea and producing from afar, but she is here in spirit. But you know what? This is one of the Road to PMRE episodes. And guess what? PMRE is getting here fast. It's coming up each day we get closer. Can you imagine that? Time just passes. And you know what? I want to shout out iGUIDE right now for underwriting these Road to PMRE episodes this year to be our special sponsor. Please go check out iGUIDE. Go iGUIDE.com to check out all iGUIDE has to offer and how they can enhance your business. And PMRE, go to PMREconference.com and get your ticket. I know there's at least 75% sold out. We're very confident that the conference is going to sell out. So please get in there and get your ticket. And rooms are also selling out of the Palm, so you get the great discounted rate. And I think they start at like $115, so it's still really affordable. So get in there, get your ticket, PMREconference.com. It's November 13th through 15th at the Palms in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm pretty lucky here to have someone with us, with Mark and Chelsea, who is going to be at PMRE. And in fact, is coming a really long way. He's coming all the way from Australia. And we have Danny Bertollo here. And Danny, I know you're kind of, I don't want to use the word famous because I don't want you to get a big head. And also, who are we kidding? We're real estate media professionals. No one is famous. But you are kind of famous for some video stuff. And so that's how you're known. And so my big question for you is, what is the state of real estate video today?
Yeah, g'day, Reed. Thanks for having me on the show today. I guess to answer your question, what is the state of the real estate video market in 2024 and beyond? Well, we have to backtrack, I guess, a year or two ago. There's been considerable change, particularly across Canada and the US, that we've seen. And obviously that's come from, I guess, a change in video style and format.
Mm-hmm. I guess speed ramping by chance.
I didn't want to say the word, but yeah, something to do with speed ramps, and I may not have been responsible for inflicting that upon the US and Canada market. But all jokes aside, I guess backtracking a couple of years ago, back to the era of 2018, 2019 in the Australian real estate media market, I guess something that started to become super apparent was, I guess, the use of the speed ramps, and I guess, to explain it in a better way, is not just the speed ramps, but a more cinematic, a more emotive video style, something that was getting attention online and something that was, I guess, highlighting the agent in a way that wasn't just the typical, here's the property and then the elevator music and the wide shots back to back. So I guess what we've seen in the last 12 months or so in the Canada and US market is a major uptake in, I guess, a different style of video. And I guess what that's inflicted upon the market is, I guess, an uplift in average order values and, I guess, a more premium offering for real estate agents. And I think that across the board, what I've seen through working with hundreds of property videographers is that agents are now understanding that they can leverage video content, more particularly short form video content, stuff that's exciting, to actually enhance their brand and actually enhance their business, which has led to, I guess, agents seeing the value in investing more in property media content and particularly video.
How are you feeling about all the trends, right? So I guess you've already laid claim to starting speed ramping, I guess. So I guess we'll go with that. But then are you doing the ones I'm seeing more now are the Inception ones where the building magically, the floors and all of a sudden there's the building. I mean, are you doing that stuff? Is that kind of stuff really effective? And is that is it effective for us in terms of selling more video, and is it effective for realtors in gaining more market share based on that kind of marketing?
Yeah, interesting question. I guess my position from the early days is, again, I never invented the speed ramp, but I think that you know, posting it in the wider real estate video communities back in the day got a bit of attention online,
and probably pushback. I mean, a little stuck in our ways over here in the real estate media world, I think.
Yeah, 100%. But I guess as far as the newer market trends and stuff, I've been quite clear in my position against what the speed ramp is all about. And we can sit here and joke and while speed ramps are cool and, the new, techniques of creating videos that look cool, I've always had to maintain the position that it's not about what you're delivering to the customer, but it's how you're delivering it to the customer that really matters. Okay. And to dive deeper into that, I guess, again, with the massive uptake of these cinematic style videos, I guess the biggest problem that I saw is that people were starting to do these cooler style videos and these more trendy style stuff to really appease their own ego or, uplift their own video portfolio to impress other videographers. But in fact, the time in which it took to deliver these projects to customers, and I guess everyone lost track of why exactly they started doing videos in the first place and where exactly we fit within the agent's process. And I think that a lot of people started to make videos that really, they look cool, they're good for the video portfolio, but again, is it really effective for the real estate agent? Well, that begs me to, I guess, ask the question, what does a real estate agent need to be successful in 2024? Leading down this rabbit hole, to answer that question from my position, is that what we've seen through working with hundreds of property videographers across the US, what the agents are actually requesting, particularly the successful ones, is more than just a single listing video. And by that, I mean multiple touch points that they can integrate throughout their campaign. And so I guess, Reid, to touch on what your question is, like these trendy video styles and, these AI kind of build outs and that type of stuff is super, super cool. And it does cut through the noise. But one video or one reel or one long form property video is not going to cut through like it did 18 months ago. It's really about having multiple touch points throughout the campaigns and ultimately leveraging one property video or one property shoot to, I guess, extract multiple pieces of content for the agent to then leverage to hammer their audience.
Well, see, I like the sound of that, right? Because, shoot one video, but deliver 4 and charge for 4, right? So what's the language that you're using or telling or, advising people to use in order to make that sell of being able to show the value to the agent for that?
Yeah, the biggest thing is I guess selling on destination instead of selling the flight. A lot of real estate videographers particularly will get too caught up in, I guess, the equipment, the speed ramps, the transitions, 4K video quality, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to get models, we're going to get cars and this and that and whatever. But they lose track again on what exactly the agent is trying to achieve, which 9 times out of 10 is they want to be the best in their market. They're very competitive individuals. And I guess how to sell this to real estate agents is really diving deep into where are you right now as a real estate agent in the market and where do you want to get to? And when you actually find out what the agent wants to achieve and then work backwards to create that link that, results-driven content or content-heavy property campaigns can get you to that point, that's what we've seen to be the most effective in real estate videographers being able to sell content heavy to real estate agents.
Well, yeah, and that's and I'm glad you said that because that's a question that I've asked so many times over the years. Is like, what are your goals? Like, you want to do video, and this gets to be in the context too of doing non-property specific videos for agents. And I always bring up the example. I always say, well, look, what's the end game here? Do you just want to be the top agent in this one neighborhood in your city, or do you want to have your own HGTV TV show down the road? And those are both totally fine goals. But if you want your own TV show, I think we should start, you kind of want to start where you want to end up, right? So you want to make sure that everything, even if you've never had a listing before, even if you're just trying to get your first one, you want to make sure you're presenting your marketing in a way that gets you to that ultimate end goal.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess that's I guess a topic that I talk about a lot, which is future back thinking. You really need to identify, even in your own business, where you want to go or where you want to get to, and work backwards. What are the steps we need to take in our own business to get to that certain point? But in the same way that when we're working for a real estate agent, it's really important that we're not just there to do a cool video. We need to understand that we're there to actually get the agents a result, because the more result we can get for the agent, the more they sell, the more they list, the more property shoots, the more properties we get to shoot, and subsequently.
Well, yeah, and you know, we always frame it, and I've said it on here a million times, but that it, when we even talk to the agent, we don't say that, hey, the end goal is to sell this property. It's actually to sell you as an agent, and like the property is going to sell. It's just, are you going to get another listing? And so that's the language that we're using, and then you can kind of see the light bulb go on. Oh yeah, well that is the point of this, you know, because the like if it's priced correctly, the house is going to sell. No big deal. So it's just like, how do you get that next listing?
Yeah, 100%.
So are you, and I guess just to go into what you're doing a little bit when you're working with agents, are you the full suite of services, or are you just coming at it from the video perspective? Are you doing photos? You doing 3D stuff?
In my unique position, and obviously in the Australian market, we have what we call vendor paid advertising, VPA. Which is basically the homeowner pays for the property content. Right. And so what's pretty apparent in the Aussie market is that an agent will select a suite of different suppliers across, you know, the photographer to someone to come up and do the floor plans for someone to do video specifically. So it's a very specialist versus generalist approach in Australia.
Interesting. What
became, I guess, apparent through when we started the property videographer and coaching guys in the US, we found out very quickly that that the full suite is actually the most common, and it's actually very hard to break that mold. So in my position, yes, we only deliver video. I started, I guess, in the game doing, you know, photos, floor plans, 3D tours, videos as well. But I guess the direction of what we wanted to be was a specialist versus a generalist, and really focused in those days on just video. But as for the Canada and the US market, I genuinely believe that if you can be the full suite, but have an average order value that allows you to actually deliver higher quality content and service at all the different touch points, that being, you know, the photos, the floor plans, the 3D tours, and ultimately the video, they're the companies that have, I guess, proven to be the most successful, because they've got a tight grip on the customer, whereby there's no other suppliers in there delivering, you know, photos where they might come and undercut you on price, or deliver some sort of package deal that's going to get them doing video as well. So I guess that's our position. But yeah, we've seen across Canada and the US that the full suite is obviously the preferred model. But
no, for sure. And that's, different. I mean, that's what we kind of preach to everyone too. And that's, you know, that's how we've done our business. And in fact, you know, in the formation of Upmarket, when my former biggest competitor and I came together and merged our companies, you know, he was just doing photos and aerial photos, and we did video, we did 3D. And so we had a relationship prior to merging where we would do video for him sometimes, just so he could offer that to his clients. And then it's like, we're just like, well, why don't we just take all your clients and all ours, and then we can, all of a sudden we have 300 new clients that we can sell video to. And so it was such a no-brainer to come together. And I think it would be really tough to break into any sort of established market in the US if you were just doing photos, or even if you were just doing video. Maybe you could pitch it as like, oh, I do super high-end video. But man, I don't know. It would be tough, because the agents want convenience. I mean, and that's, you know, and in fact, I kind of think that what the agents want is they want good enough work. And then they want it done quickly, and they want it done efficiently. And in one visit, they don't want to sit there all day, you know, but you have some of those agents who really understand that if they really take the time and get into a different video product, then that gives them leverage on the market. But most people, they just want it tomorrow. Honestly.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think, I guess, a bit of a nuance off of what we call, I guess, the all-encompassing video real estate media agency that delivers the full suite of everything. The guys that I've now seen to be the most successful and the ones that have the highest average order values, the ones that are being booked consistently, are the ones that are taking what we call a video-centric approach or a content-centric approach, whereby instead of having photo at the forefront, photos being, that core service, content is the core service. As in, video content, short form media, the stuff that's actually going to advertise the agent, all the touch points that can be extracted from a marketing perspective. And then the photos, the floor plans, the 3D tours is kind of considered as a secondary service. The things that are there for utility value, but not so much the stuff that's marketing the property. And the guys that are pitching it in this way, taking that video centric, content centric approach, are the ones that have proven to be the most successful in the last 12 months, particularly across Canada and the US.
So yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is we're constantly like thinking of ways that we can ramp up all the other services that we provide. And, having people come on who are, as employees who are interested in doing kind of interesting video, because, and every employee is different and every shooter is different. Like, man, I don't want to I don't really shoot anymore anyway, but I don't want to sit there and come up with these concepts with realtors and shit. I mean, that's like, kill me now. But then you got some people are like, what if you walk in from here? Oh, that'll be so amazing. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's great. Have fun with that. So, that's part of the challenge is making sure that, as these all-in-one companies, that we can stay nimble enough to kind of not chase the trends, but, chase the trends a little bit and maybe, lead in the trends. But you have to be thinking about that constantly, because if you're just doing the same old, like you said, because what I've really heard from you is actually, you've said it 4 or 5 times. It's like, well, in the last 12 months, in the last 18 months, it's just really changed. And you're just like, well, but that's the speed of innovation now. I mean, I think we have to be prepared for that.
Yeah, 100%. It's changed. You've only got to look at the wider real estate video communities now compared to 12 months ago. It's an absolute bloodbath of, botched up videos and people trying to do things outside the box and trying too hard again to make a video that, I guess, appeases their own ego or for their own video portfolio that, again, loses sight of why we're doing videos in the first place for the real estate agent. And yeah, like I said, the last 12 months / 18 months has been a very interesting time for the industry. And like I said, the guys that have taken a more content centric approach, I think, have collectively swayed the entire market, that being the perception real estate agents have of content and the importance, and knowing that when they see one person doing it, you've now got the guys that are following. And I think what this is doing is putting, I guess, an upward pressure on the market where, agents are now seeing other agents doing really cool content or multiple pieces of content, and they're just getting absolutely drowned out of the market doing their one single video. They're going to their content supplier and going, hey guys, I want to do stuff like this. And so this has been the pressure, not only in terms of, I guess, the video quality across the market in the last 12 months, but I've seen average order values from what people were charging, particularly in Canada and the US 12 months ago to now, has been has done a complete 360.
And I think the danger that you have, so I'll speak from the perspective of the kind of all-in-one, kind of old, not old school, but we're like the big dogs. We have the successful company that we're the all-in-one, and we're not quite as nimble as just someone coming in. But you want to make sure, if you're in like that position, that you do want to be thoughtful about what you're doing, because I think there can be a tendency to be desperate and to flail and to just like, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to do this Inception style video and it's going to be great. And then like not understanding why you're doing it, not being able to even repeat it. And even the fact is, like, you do one of those, okay, great. But then are you doing those on every video now? And it's just the marketplace is going to tire of it after, everyone is going to go apeshit when they see the first one, but then what?
100%. The biggest thing that it comes down to, like I said in the beginning, is how do you deliver it to the customer? And 9 times out of 10, these guys that, will do a cool video, it takes them 4 hours in the edit bay, on a reel that's going to be seen, for 10, 20 seconds with this cool thing. But number one, they don't know how to charge for it. Number two, it's taking them a whole lot of time, so it's absorbing, I guess, the profits. And so these guys have come in, they've not been able to charge, they've not been able to, I guess, make it profitable. And so it bastardized the entire industry in the sense that these guys or these agents are setting a certain expectation at a certain level at a certain price point. And so anyone that's out there doing it properly suffers. In saying that, though, I guess the best way to be competitive in the market is, again, not focusing on what you deliver. It's a given that you should deliver the highest quality of content, but how you deliver that content to the customer in terms of the service, the speed to delivery is really what's going to help you, or what I've seen to help guys cut through and dominate the competition. Because at the end of the day, what the customer wants is results, and what they want is they want speed, they want efficiency, and to a standard that is consistent. A lot of guys are setting super unrealistic expectations by doing one absolute banger, for $300, and then now everyone's asking for the same thing, but they have no clear path to charging more. And this is where it comes back to future back thinking. When we release products or increase our quality or have a new service offering, it's really important that we understand where exactly we want to get to in terms of the price points. It's really important that we understand what the objective of our business is before we start gun-ho throwing out different video quality formats and setting super unrealistic expectations for clients. Because as we scale, what do we lose? We lose time, because we're in a time-sensitive game. We have to understand the capacity within our business to actually deliver this content to customers.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I'm looking at the future of this podcast, and one of the things that I know I have a goal of is getting more money from advertising. So I think this is going to be a really good point right now to take a little pause, look, and we are going to do a couple little ads, but I want you, they're going to be funny. If you're a listener and you're skipping the ads, it's some of the funniest stuff. That's my best material in there. And then we're going to come back. We're going to have the social media sidebar, and then we're going to talk more with Danny. And he's already said it. He's got the action item from Down Under. I think we're all going to be amazed by this. So stick around. Aereo. I don't think I'll ever get sick of talking about Aereo. So you know what? I'm going to talk about it a little bit more right now. Look, it is that all-in-one service that we use to grow our business and to be more efficient on the back end and to put our best foot forward when we are talking to our clients. Aereo does it all. It schedules. You can invoice through there. You can. I think you can even run payroll through there. I don't do that, but I think you could. It creates property websites for you. You deliver all your content. Lotta. It does it all, and it does it for a great price, and it does it efficiently. What can I say? I keep talking about Aereo. I keep talking. So if you haven't been listening to me now for like 72 episodes, and Bethany doing it last week for one episode, thank you, Bethany. If you have not been listening to us and you have not checked out Aereo, what is the matter with you? So get in there. It's Aereo.com. If you use the code Upmarket, you're going to get 15 free bonus listings. That's Aereo.com. Well, it's that time of life. My doctor told me that got to get a colonoscopy. So he ordered the colonoscopy. So I feel like a colonoscopy is like a floor plan for your colon. So they take the little camera up there, they poke around, and they map out what's going on in your colon. So if you can think of a home like a colon, one of the best things you can do is use Second Floor app to walk around that house in like 5 minutes and scan it with the app, and you're going to have a floor plan right then and there that you can deliver to your agent immediately if that is what you want to do, and you're charging them good money to do that service. Second Floor app makes it easy. They're always innovating. They're always making their product better. I've heard so many good things from people, feedback about Second Floor app. It is an exceptional product. We could not recommend it more. Second Floor app. So go to secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. You're going to get a free month of service. It's already a really good deal for what you get, but you're going to get a free month to try it out. So secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. Check it out now. The best way to make a floor plan quickly. Social media sidebar. Okay, so look, we are, of course, Upmarket Pod across all social media. Give us a follow. And we're upmarket.media on Instagram as well. So you can see some of our stodgy old property videos that are not innovative and, not any of the stuff that Danny's preaching. But, maybe after this, maybe they will be. And so, Danny, where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, so we're, I guess my video company is at Futuro Avenue on Instagram, or most notably on YouTube. And then obviously just my personal one is Daniel_Bertollo, which, I'm posting updates and I guess a lot of information and tips on the real estate video market from my perspective.
All right. So sweet. So what do you have any, and I don't know how different it is down there, but do you have, for your company, in your marketing to real estate agents, what's working for you in social media, other than really cool videos?
Yeah, what's working for us, I guess in my own business, but what I'm seeing across the entire global market is multiple touch points per property video, per property campaign. What I mean by this is the more simplistic we can make the campaign and the touch points, the better they are performing and the more they're actually cutting through the noise. And what I mean by this is not trying to overdo the short form touch points where, you see guys using AI and different kind of things. And whilst those things are cool, but really taking features of the property or features of, the campaign and discussing with the agent, what are the main features of this property that we want to highlight, and breaking those features down into multiple different touch points that they can hammer out through, paid advertising, that they're hammering out through organic social, their cold outreach, their warm outreach via email campaigns, etc. And so breaking these campaigns down into multiple touch points as per the different features of the property is what I guess I'm seeing across not only my own business, but the entire global market to be the most effective as genuine feedback from active real estate agents in the market in 2024. And I think the reason for that is because their competitors have one long form property video going out, but they're now hammering the audience with multiple different touch points across all the different mediums. And so that's what I've seen to be the most successful in 2024. And I think we're only going to, I guess, go further down that path as we evolve. But again, simplicity is becoming the thing that's cutting through the noise. And so, not I guess shying away from single clippers, really nice, beautifully composed single clips that agents can use not only across reels, but their stories and email campaigns, other things like more editorial style, behind the scenes images on the shoot day. These touch points are things that, I've seen agents using across letterbox drops and print advertising, print media, all the way to like signage on bus stops, to the newspaper. It's really separating and I guess building a more authentic look for the real estate agent across all the different mediums. This is what's cutting through the noise rather than the full slick produced, I guess that style of stuff. So,
but what are you doing in your business to get more real estate work? So that's kind of how do we grow our business? Okay, I got a handle on the realtors now. So what should we be doing?
I've always maintained the opinion, and this is widespread knowledge, that your next property campaign or your next job comes from the one that's sitting on your desk right now. And I guess I've always maintained that opinion from day one. The next video that I want to do, or the next job that I want to win, is always going to come from the property video that's sitting on my desk right now. And so every campaign that I'm working on is always, this thing that hits me in the chest that, gives me almost borderline nervous breakdowns to ensure that it's better than the last. And when you operate in this way and you really put in the extra 1%ers whilst being efficient and I guess, charging appropriately and delivering that service to customers, this is what I've seen to really help grow my business from day one. It's all been built on, I guess, making sure that the content is to a certain level. But I guess in terms of growing the business, where 99% of real estate media businesses go wrong is they have no client acquisition system. They have no way of actually selling to the salesman, right? And so you've got to think, you're trying to pitch as a real estate videographer, you're trying to sell to someone whose job is to sell. And so by using cheeky tactics and things like this, they real estate agents, they understand what you're trying to do, and so it doesn't work. And so in my business, it's all been about, I guess, how do I structure an offer that makes complete sense for the real estate agent and is completely in line with the objectives of the modern day marketer, the modern day real estate agent, and really making them understand that through working with Futuro Avenue, that working with me is going to help them absolutely drown their competition. When you sell in this way, this is what allows you to jump into the higher price points. This is what allows you to have, agents respect you. They trust your judgment in creating these videos. You get less revisions, more respect. They're more respectful of your time. You can dictate when you want to do the shoot and how, I guess, they'll come to you in terms of the advice in terms of distributing that content. And so my, I guess, strategy or my approach has really been becoming an authority in the sales process and in the discussion with real estate agents. This is what allowed me to, I guess, get to the point where Futuro Avenue is now. And subsequently, this framework has been born out of working with hundreds of property videographers across Canada and the US and seeing it actively work in the market and seeing those trials and tribulations. The agents telling you where to go, the agents saying, nah, that's not worth it, and really crafting the rebuttals and the systems and the frameworks to actually get real estate agents working with you. But most importantly, not just converting an agent, getting agents who really want to work with you and, I guess, from our perspective, really wanting to work with that agent, building these really strong mutually beneficial partnerships. That's the most important thing, because when you set a foundation, I guess, of a business relationship on that premise, it's only set for success. And I guess when we talk about the flywheel, we obviously want to create as much success for the real estate agent as possible so we can see the most success in our business.
All right. So the flywheel, I think we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show a little bit. So, okay, we're going to take another quick break. We're going to come back with Danny, and oh boy, man, I cannot wait for this guy's action item. So stick with us. Oh man, I'm here with Skylar Lawrence LaBelle, and we're going to talk about iGUIDE for just a minute. Hey, Skylar, lay it on me. Hey, convince me to use iGUIDE.
Hey, Reed, I'll keep it short and sweet. But really, at iGUIDE, we're here to help real estate photographers, just like yourself and just like your thousands of listeners, help them grow their business. How do we do that? Here at iGUIDE, we do it through our 3D virtual tours and precise, accurate floor plans. Many are probably aware, but we've got our quick capture camera system in the Plan X Pro. And then we've got a variety of deliverables from iGUIDE Instant. You're getting that tour back in minutes to iGUIDE Standard or Premium.
Oh, I love it. You know, the getting it back in minutes, man, that is so key. Again, I've said it so many times on this show, but man, speed of delivery is like the number one thing that our clients are always harping on us for. So anytime we can get something out faster, and if it's available in minutes, then you're going to be able to upcharge if you could deliver same day for an upcharge. I mean, that's what I care about, is making money, making my clients' life better, and then making money. So iGUIDE is the way to go. So Skylar, thanks for that. See you in Las Vegas.
I can't wait. See you in November.
Okay, everyone. And you know what? I forgot to really give Danny a proper introduction in the very beginning. And so, we are talking with Danny Bertollo here, who is with Futuro Avenue, the company Futuro Avenue in Adelaide, Australia. And he's also the main guy behind the Property Videographer, which is a coaching program. You can look that up. Obviously, if you've been listening, you know Danny has a lot of good things to say. So I'm sure there's a lot of great things there. But you know what? I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to talk about PMRE. As we know, it's coming up in November in Las Vegas. And okay, so Danny, I know you're hitting this thing from multiple fronts. You got a workshop you're doing, which I believe is sold out already. So I don't want to, pimp that out too much, but maybe someone will cancel. Maybe you can get on the waiting list. Who knows? And then also you are going to be on the main stage speaking. So give us, what are you going to be talking about? What are you going to be doing in Las Vegas in November?
Yeah, so it's been, I guess, a 3-year ordeal. Chatting with Brendan and the team at PMRE. It's been
he does talk a lot, so yeah,
it's been super exciting. I guess for subsequent years, we've been in conversation about getting over to the US to come and speak at PMRE. Mm-hmm. I guess the last couple of years didn't feel that we're in the position to actually come over there, just due to the, I guess, sheer travel distance that I have to come in terms of being super busy. But this year we really worked hard, and I think we're in a position to work with Brendan to make it happen. So I guess I've always maintained the opinion that those who don't know teach, but I really want to break that mold, and I wanted to be 100% sure that what I was going to deliver at that conference was second to none, and that it was 100% great advice. And so, working with Brendan, we've teed up not only the workshop, which, like you mentioned, is sold out, which we're going to be running through, I guess, how to shoot and deliver property content faster and more efficiently than anyone else in the market. And that comes down to, I guess, a concept we call, which is wine is made in the vineyard, which I guess translates to the property video really is made at the shoot. And then I guess for the stage show, we will be presenting, I guess, a 45-minute presentation on a deep dive into the property media flywheel, not only how we build relentless momentum in the agent's flywheel, which is, how do we get them, or how do we leverage the property shoot to extract content to help them sell more property, to then help them list more property, so then we get more shoots, and subsequently our own flywheel, which is, how do we deliver great content and a great service to customers to then build that demand for our business, to then increase the average order value and increase what we're able to charge, to then ultimately get our time back and I guess less stress, to then actually deliver better quality videos and better quality service. And I guess, how do we build momentum in our own business? So that presentation is going to be all surrounding the flywheel, which is something that I'm a massive believer in, and I guess one of my core topics. I'm super excited for PMRE.
Well, so you're going to be spilling some secrets, though. I mean, I think right. We're going to get into. I mean, you're not going to be able to give everything in those 45 minutes, but I feel like I'm just hearing about the flywheel now. But I feel like I'm gonna I'm ready. I want to get on the damn flywheel.
Yeah, it's been a concept, I guess, that through coaching hundreds of property videographers across the globe in the last 12 to 18 months, the single topic that time and time again, property videographers come into the program, they see the material and they see me talking about this particular concept, which is the flywheel, not only in the agent's business, but in their own, and building that momentum, that just blows them away and says, Danny, like just this concept makes jumping in this thing completely worth it. It was, I guess, the most impactful thing that I saw really, put that spark back into a lot of real estate media businesses who, were feeling that burnout. And so I thought, what's going to cut through, what's going to be, I guess, the most impactful presentation that I could deliver, and something that I'm super passionate about and believe in. And the Flywheel was that thing.
Well, so in the Flywheel, are we setting up systems? Because what I'm hearing is like, okay, we're getting our life back, we're getting time back, but then you're also pitching it as we're doing more videos. So how does that work? Because,
I guess to put it simply, the Flywheel in our own business, and I guess the first concept that we speak about is how do we increase the quality of our videos? Where most people go wrong is the quality of their video sucks because they have no time. And they have no time because they're not charging enough, or because they're charging $300 for a video, right? Now, you're not charging enough because you have no demand. So no one really wants to work with you. You're a commodity-based offer. They can go somewhere else for cheaper. And because you have no demand, because your quality of content sucks. And your quality of content sucks because you got no time. You got no time because you have no price. You have no price because you have no demand. You have no demand because your quality of content. But in particular,
that sounds like the bad
well,
flywheel. That sounds like the bad flywheel.
That's what we call the doom loop. In the opposite direction. In the opposite direction is how do we, craft a really high quality content, I guess, offer, and then how do we service the customer faster, more efficiently than anyone else in the market? And that's building that quality of service. Then number two is through doing that, we start to get in front of the eyes of, multiple real estate agents throughout the market, obviously their own customers. And how do we ascend customers into higher paying packages? Well, we have to build demand for the product specifically. And in building that demand and manufacturing that demand across, the social media touch points, paid advertising, obviously having funnels installed and different, marketing initiatives. How do we build demand that you've got all these people wanting to come and work with your business now? And so when the exact same as Rolex, right? When the demand increases, they cut the supply. And so how do we, and obviously as a real estate media business, we have, I guess, a limit on capacity, which is, dictated by our time, whether we're a single shooter or the team's time in terms of what they're able to deliver. And so how do we build this demand to then increase the price points? What are the strategies in which we use to actually play into that demand? Hey, Mr. Agent, look, we'd love to take on this work. And so, or due to high demand and high inquiry volume, instead of us taking on a whole bunch of extra work or a whole bunch of extra agents, which is going to impede on the quality of our work and on our quality of our service, what we thought we would do for our customers is actually just increase the price point a little bit. And so we don't have to take on a whole bunch of clients, keeping our, I guess, content and our offer unique to you, because we really want to work with our core set of clients to take them to the top long term, rather than taking on a whole bunch of things and being everything to everyone. And so when we have that discussion and we increase our average order value and increase our price points, what do we get back? Like I mentioned, which is the most important thing, we get back the time and we get less stress to then actually deliver world-class quality content and a world-class quality service to the clients. And it goes round and round and round and round until we've got relentless momentum in the business.
Right. And so then though, if you're in that flywheel, right? So if you're going on the premium product bent, that sounds to me like it could be a little harder to scale that, right? Because what you are saying is like, oh, I just want to work with exclusive clients. And I know, okay, obviously you want more clients as well, but, positioning yourself like that, then is it harder than to, because we struggle with it all the time. One of our photographers goes to a shoot and our client's like, well, where's Mark? Where's Reed? I only work with them. And then they think, oh, the product is not as good, even though it's just as good. So how is that working? How are we able to scale with that mindset?
Yeah, the whole thing is, the whole system is built for scale. Everything I speak about in the presentation, I guess in the podcast today, and the whole ethos behind what I believe it takes to be successful in the real estate media game is setting a foundation for scale. And so when you build the real estate media business, we need to understand that we need to have the SOPs in the business for I guess, all our team members to actually be able to deliver not only the content, but the service to the highest of quality. There's tactics we can introduce, which is like working on a round robin system where we're, sending everyone to different shoots, which is something we've seen to be super effective. But I guess in terms of building scale, is when we do that first revolution of the flywheel, it's typically us as the business owner, whether you know it or not. Reed, probably, when you start in the game, same as me, you start, you do a cool video, you get a little bit of demand, someone, family friend sees it, or, someone who's a realtor kind of sees it and they want to do a video, and then you kind of charge for it. So you got the price, and then, you get your time back because you're no longer working a full-time job. You can take on this and you got a little bit more time back. Then you can, invest in a little bit more, or spend a bit more time improving the product, and so on and so on. So when you prove that flywheel, I guess, as yourself as the business owner, you treat that first revolution as a staff member. And so when you go to employ the next individual, what that really comes down to is training that individual to be able to deliver the content and service to the same level that you are, which ultimately now we've proven to be something that's super simple. When you create frameworks in the shoot and edit process, when you, I guess, set a standard in terms of the brand and behavior of the employees and what to expect, I guess, as a company policy, how does that employee, how do we cultivate an environment for the employee to actually thrive as a creative? And that really stems from, I guess, employing the right people to come into, I guess, a system that is literally built for them to not be stressed, not doing 8 shoots per day, not driving around like a headless chook, going flat out doing $180 videos while the business owners stressed out of their mind going, are we going to meet the revenue targets this month? So in terms of scale, simplicity is important. And the other thing as well is, throughout this discussion, we spoke a lot about the quality of videos, but I just want to make clear that this whole, I guess, ethos is not built for the high-end property videos. I never, the high-end property videos I see as your marketing. But where this kind of approach I've seen to be super, super successful is in the low to middle tier properties. Those campaigns where the agents actually aspire to be the high-end real estate agent. And that's where you can actually sell much more effectively because they have the dream of aspiration to actually be the agent that's at the top. And so whilst you might see us advertising, the higher end videos, 80% of our work is the stuff that is the, I guess, property campaigns for properties that you probably wouldn't advertise. But it's about bringing what it takes to advertise super, super high-end property and giving that product to the agents at the bottom end.
Sure.
And obviously helping these guys because we're able to have the most impactful or we're able to have the most impact on the guys at the bottom than the guys that are already at the top. And so that's kind of the position.
Right. Well, and you're helping lift up the people on the bottom, and then they're going to bring you with them. And so, the more they get, the more you're going to get. Well, so in terms of this efficiency, and if you're having these employees, what is your philosophy in terms of are people editing the content that they shoot, or are you able to have a system where you're outsourcing? Because we've been outsourcing our video editing for like the last year, and it's like it's awesome.
Yeah, I take an unbiased, I guess, view on this just through working with hundreds of guys across Canada and the US working in the volume model. I guess in my own business, obviously what we've seen is, to really have no production line model in our business, the person who goes out and shoots is the one who's going to go back and edit, because what we saw through, I guess, working with both models is that it just takes way longer, and I guess the communication barrier, between the agent and then the person who shot and then the person who edited is something that's quite tricky. But again, my unbiased opinion is that if you shoot in the right way, whether it be an offshore editor trained in the right, I guess, or trained in how to work with the footage, someone that's in-house who's just focused on editing, it really comes down to how you shoot. If you can shoot in a way that is simplistic, that follows the frameworks, that has only 2 to 3 shot types, that's able to be linked infinitely in the edit, in what we call, stacking like Lego, really capturing those Lego pieces and having it where you can literally reach into the pile of Lego, grab any brick, and it'll infinitely stack in any combination. If you can shoot in this way, you can literally plug in offshore editors, people in-house, like I mentioned, or you can have that particular staff member edit themselves. What we've seen is the larger volume agencies will take the outsource approach. However, we've also seen guys who are the more boutique guys who really actually want to edit, employ passionate people and have them go out and shoot, work with the agent, then come back, ingest all the footage, and then know exactly what they're going to edit. And they're able to knock out that edit in an hour to an hour and a half, done, sealed, delivered, including multiple touch points worth of content as well, more efficiently than anyone with next day delivery. So you can take both approach, but again, it really comes down to how do you make the wine in the vineyard? You can't possibly make an outstanding wine from shit quality grapes that you grow in the vineyard. But you can damn well make a shit quality wine from really good grapes if you're inexperienced in the edit, which leads me to then, mention that you do need to understand, the editing frameworks, but that's like the cherry on top. That's a given. You should know how to do it, but the shoot is the single most important thing. And I guess that comes from growing up in the wine industry.
All right. Well, and that, and that makes sense. Because, one of the things is that, a good videographer and a good editor are not necessarily the same person. So I think when you do run the risk of when your employees are not specialized in the one thing that one of the two is going to suffer. And I found that most people in video, they're better at one of the things. They're probably passable at both, but they're better at one of the elements. And too. And I think it's about listening to your employees and hearing what they're enjoying and hearing what they're passionate about. Because, and that's always, you just always have to be taking that temperature, right? Because if they're not happy, then that flywheel is going to break, man.
Yeah.
You gotta keep greasing that flywheel.
100%. It's important to, I think, always to have all, team members trained in all disciplines. So at least, you have that fallback and they do understand, every aspect of what it takes to actually deliver a product. And that's not just, video, but also, floor plans. How does that delivery process look like? How does, 3D, it's important to understand every facet. But again, like you mentioned, Reed, is that, people will have skill sets and people will have things they prefer. And I guess my view is that you should be placing the people where they're most passionate. And I guess where they're most passionate is where they're going to do their best work. And obviously for you as a business owner, that's going to provide the best results at the end of the day to the bottom line.
Yeah, well, and that's the skill that you have to, as the boss, that you have to, the employee, you have to cultivate that skill of being able to manage people. And not everyone can do it. And it's like, I'm still figuring it out. Geez, man. So yeah, it can be difficult. But you know what? All of that is going to take action. And I think that means it is time for our action items, which, are sponsored by Pixel CRM. Pixel CRM is the only CRM out there that was designed by a real estate photographer for real estate media professionals. We've been using Pixel CRM. And it's been great. And we still, and I think one of our summer projects is going to be diving more into Pixel CRM and having it do more for us. Yeah. But already all the stuff it does, we're doing our mailing list, we're doing the reviews, we're doing a few other things. I mean, it's been really fantastic. So go to pixelcrm.com/upmarket and you are going to get a risk-free 30-day trial. Pretty exciting. On, people. Yeah. The one thing about pixelcrm.com, it's pixlcrm.com. There's no E. Mm-hmm.
It's the hip pixel.
It's the hip pixel. Pixelcrm.com. I'm feeling it today. I'm going to go first because I have a super, super simple action item. And I think yours is going to be better. So let's end on a high note. So I'm going to go ahead and go for it. Hearing how much has changed in the last 12 to 18 months in the real estate video world, my action item is to go watch some real estate videos. Go get on there, spend an hour, try to find some of the craziest shit that is out there and, or some of the most elegant, whatever, go outside of your normal follows. I'm hoping that, all of us, real estate media professionals are following some other, professionals. And if you need an idea of who to follow, if you're not following anyone, go to Upmarket Pod. You can see who we're following. We're following a lot of the big people, but go ahead and go watch some videos and let them sink in and let them, inform what you are doing in your video process.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think it's really important to look for inspiration and particularly, I guess, open your eyes to what's out there. It's super, I guess, it's so easy when you're in the business to be so focused on what you guys are doing at the moment, and I guess to lose sight of what's happening out there in the market. So I think, Reid, that's really good advice.
All right. So Danny, hit it with us. Action item. Give us the Australian action item.
So to stay on theme, I guess, with the topic of conversation for today, and obviously in the lead up to PMRE, I guess my action item for today is, as a real estate media business owner, no matter whether you're photos only or the full suite or video only, no matter where you are in the world, I really want you to sit and think about where you are in that 4-step flywheel. In the real estate media business flywheel. Are you at the stage where you're increasing quality, you're increasing the quality of both the content and the service? Are you in the, I guess, process of increasing the demand of your business? Are you investing in marketing initiatives to get more eyeballs on your business? Are you, I guess, at the stage where you're trying to increase prices? Are you now have you now increased the price points and, you're looking to get that time back and unsure of, where I'm going to be investing that time, I guess, to then do a better quality service. So really identifying where you are in those 4 stages. And then depending on where you are in those stages, having a clear think about what the next step is. And you can't skip steps. If you're at a single step, well, you can now predict what the next thing is to do or what the next thing coming up is. And I guess equally on the opposite side of this is understand that if you went in the opposite direction, what the doom loop looks like. So, for example, if you weren't able to create quality content or your quality of content sucks, well, that's probably happening because you just simply don't have time, and you don't have time because you don't have the price. You have the price because you don't have the demand. So really identifying where you are in that flywheel process and having to think about, I guess, what the downstream effects are of some of the things that you're doing in your business and why that's not leading to you, I guess, building that momentum in the business. You can write it down. I like to use, Miro, which is like a whiteboarding kind of tool that you can draw things on, or even just a pen and paper, really identifying where you are at the moment. And I guess setting that goal, like you touched on, Reid, is setting that, I guess, destination that you want to achieve in the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, whatever the time frame is, setting that direction or setting that goal and working backwards to achieve it.
There you go. Boom. Danny Bertollo, thank you so much. I really appreciated you coming on. And I want to also, throw a thank you to our sponsors. And the biggest thank you of all is to our listeners. I love all our listeners. Thank you so much for making it happen. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you all. And so, Danny, I'll see you in Las Vegas. And I heard you're going to be traveling around for a little while beforehand. If you make it by Ojai, you better stop in and I'll consider buying you a beer.
Consider. No, I look forward to PMRE. I look forward to getting over to Canada and the US. Look forward to meeting, the hundreds of students that we've coached across the country. I'm very passionate about the US. When we started the Property Videographer, I got, thousands of messages from guys over there really requesting information on how we were doing what we were doing over here in Oz. I'm very passionate about the country and I can't wait to get over there and meet some awesome people and some awesome business owners. For myself to learn a lot from other people as well. That's most important.
Oh yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be your first time. So, all right, we got to show Danny a good time when he's here. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you listen to the next one too. In the meantime, our wish for you is to not have to shoot any Friday night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.